Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 67 of our fourth session this year together. And today we're going to continue on our session on the joy of the Spirit. We're so excited to have you all here with us and to be with us tonight to meditate and hopefully feel so much peace and happiness from within us. So welcome. My name is Miki. I'm coming to you from Columbia, Maryland on the East Coast, and we're so excited to have you. So one thing I just wanted to get out of the way, just so everybody is on the same page. If possible, or if you haven't already, please get your foot soak tub ready. If you're new to meditating with us, then all you have to do is pretty much fill a tub with lukewarm water and have a towel next to you and some rinse water, and put some salt in the tub with the lukewarm water, and you can meditate easily. It's simple, but for those of you who already are familiar, please get your foot soak tub ready so we can begin today's program. Like I mentioned, usually if you're new or continuing after the Sahaja Yoga program today, you can ask for a breakout room to be met with a Sahaja Yoga practitioner who can help answer any questions that you might have about your experience or meditation in general. You can do that through the Zoom chat, which we'll share more details of later. And of course, we'll also show later on in the program any new ways, or not new ways, but any ways that you can get access to course material related to the meditation sessions that have already happened in the past. So if you wanted to review those or find, revisit things that you might have forgotten or wanted to revisit for any reason, we'll show you how to access those later in the program. There's also a mentoring program that you can sign up for. This would be a more one-on-one experience with a Sahaja Yoga teacher, and that information is in the Zoom chat. So if you want to have your questions answered in a more private manner, please feel free to do that if that's what you're more comfortable with. And yes, so for Tuesday's topic, which we covered this past Tuesday, we talked about the divinity within each of us. To kind of continue on this kind of general trend, taking the divinity within each of us further in today's session, we're going to try and see how we can manifest that divinity to help us develop emotional intelligence, which is the subject of today's program. And I think it's a really cool subject that I think everybody can relate to, being a human being, honestly. So we hope that this session is beneficial to you all. And to help us get through this topic smoothly and with a lot of happiness and joy, we're going to have two guided meditations today, one with a foot soak, which will start at the beginning. We'll also have a video from our founder, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, followed by some music to go along with silent meditation. And towards the end, we'll have a presenter sharing session where we'll have an open forum and you can ask questions in the chat and see if you wanted any more guidance on your experience or any questions that you might have, and all the presenters will share the screen and speak with each other. So without further ado, I'd love to call on today's presenters and our musician, or today's presenters and our musician for the evening. So if I could have Steve, Angie, and Yuri come to the screen. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
So yes, if you could just maybe give a brief background about yourself and maybe what do you do outside of Sahaja Yoga, just for the audience. Steve, if you want to start.
Sure. Thank you, Miki. My name is Steve. I live in South Florida. I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for many, many years since I was a young person. Um, Before Sahaja Yoga, no, not before actually, even during Sahaja Yoga, what I did for my profession was I worked in finance, but I've been retired for a couple of years and I'm enjoying the retired life now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Look forward to your first session, guiding the meditation. And Angie, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do outside of meditation.
Thanks, Miki. I live in Connecticut, US. Originally, I'm from Austria. I have been meditating also since now a long time, and it's just a wonderful experience. Professionally, I'm a biomagnetism therapist. I also do some business coaching for holistic practitioners. And I have to say that the meditation is just awesome for any profession to go well through the work life.
Absolutely. I can attest to that too. Thank you so much, Angie. We look forward to meeting you again at the end of the program. And Yuri, our musician for this evening, if you could just introduce yourself briefly and tell us what you do outside of meditation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yuri Shokhov. Now I'm living in Canada, and I'm practicing in yoga since I was a child. And I would love to you will enjoy it and enjoy this program. Thank you.
We definitely will. We're all excited. You can see the setup is ready and we're looking forward to it. So yeah, thank you all. And without further ado, we'll start with our first session with Steve. Take it away, Steve. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Miki. Good evening, everybody. It's really wonderful to be here with you. Tonight's topic is emotional intelligence. And for those of you who haven't heard that phrase before, I don't know if it's really widely known, but back in the 90s, there was a very famous book written about emotional intelligence. And it raised the idea that instead of only looking at or evaluating people in terms of their rational intelligence, like an IQ test, which gives us a sense of how good we are at analysis and at logic and at pattern recognition and things like that, that to be a complete and whole human being, we needed to also have this thing called emotional intelligence, where we are sensitive to the needs of others, we relate to others, we look after the well-being of others, and there's this emotional component. So this is basically kind of complementing this very right side focused IQ idea with something they called EQ, which was a way of developing this intelligence of an emotional sort. So when I found out what the topic was tonight, emotional intelligence, I started thinking about what am I going to say? And I thought, well, what chakra is most associated with emotional intelligence? First, I thought of the Vishuddhi, the fifth chakra, because it has to do with the feeling of oneness with other people and also with witnessing and not reacting. But then I thought, but then there's the heart, because the heart has to do with compassion and love, and that's part of it. And then I thought, yeah, but there's the Muladhara, the first chakra, and you have to be innocent to be able to be compassionate and feel one with other people. And one by one, I went through every chakra, and I realized it's all the chakras. And that led me to the Sasrara chakra, the seventh chakra, where all the qualities of all the chakras are integrated. And I think the really interesting thing as I thought about emotional intelligence is that, if you go to the book and all the training classes and things that have been created around this idea, it's a concept, and it's a very positive concept, but it's a concept in which you try to train yourself to have a more emotionally intelligent attitude and approach to other people. But in Sahaja Yoga, what happens is that emotional intelligence comes about through becoming the compassion and becoming the oneness with other people and feeling that oneness on our central nervous systems. It's an actual connection to others. And so it becomes real, it becomes integrated, it becomes who we are rather than a concept. Though it's a very positive concept, we can take it a step further with the awakening of the Kundalini and with the experience of our attention in the Sahasrara. In the Sahasrara, once our attention is there, we are kind of downloading those beautiful qualities, those divine qualities into ourselves. And as that compassion and that witnessing power and that feeling of being one with others grows, emotional intelligence is just an outcome. It's a spontaneous outcome of that growth inside. So my feeling was then that rather than talking too much about emotional intelligence, we could spend most of our time together uh, going to the Sahasrara and just experiencing those blessings, experiencing those divine qualities growing and unfolding within us. So we'll spend some time while we're foot soaking just in meditation with the understanding that we are just enhancing, developing, and unfolding those beautiful qualities inside that allow us to feel really the compassion for others, to feel the oneness with others, to feel the other person. And I think this is something really unique in Sahaja Yoga, that we can feel the other person. We can feel their chakras. We can feel the state of their vibrations. We can feel their spirit. We can feel the beauty of their inner being. And that kind of oneness, that level of oneness, creates the subtlest form I can imagine of emotional intelligence, because we're one with that other person. They're part of us. So with that, let's get our foot soaking bowls. And if everyone has their foot soaking bowl in place, let's start by raising our Kundalini. Let's do it slowly and really feel what we're doing. We're bringing our attention up above the Sahasrara. We're bringing our Kundalini up through all the chakras. And when we finish, we can take the Bandhan 7 times. And again, let's do it slowly with attention. So we are feeling that we are surrounding ourselves with this benevolent, beautiful, divine energy. We can just, with our right hand, give vibrations to the foot soaking water for a moment. Just asking the vibrations, asking the divine that to vibrate this water so that it's really powerful for clearing our chakras and our nadis. And then we can put our feet in the water. Let's open our hands on our laps and close our eyes. For a moment, let's just observe our breathing and settle down a little bit. Just make that transition from having the attention on the outside to having it on the inside. We don't need to control our breathing or change it. Let's just observe it, very relaxed, with no effort. So for the moment, if we feel catches, blockages, or imbalances on our hands or in our body, let's just let them be. Let's not react to them, not try to do anything about it. Similarly, if we're thinking, if we're distracted, let's just observe it and let it be. Let our Kundalini work it out. We don't have to do anything. So let's take the right hand and put it on the Sasrara. Press down a little bit and can bend our heads a little bit forward. And let's feel that tangible sensation of the hand pressing on the top of the head. And let our attention gradually settle on that spot. And let's ask silently inside, Mother Kundalini, please rise within me and take me into meditation. Please rise within me and take me into meditation. Let's slowly raise our hand up, maybe 5 or 6 inches. And let's see what we feel with our right hand. And also become aware of that space between the head and the hand. And let our attention gradually settle up there. And when we feel like our attention is there, can bring the hand down and leave the attention up above the head. with our attention there in the Sahasrara, this is when we can receive all of those beautiful qualities and blessings, those divine qualities. So let's ask our Kundalini Mother, please bless me with the beautiful qualities of compassion, of oneness, the power of witnessing, the innocence, the feeling of benevolence and concern for the well-being of everyone. And let's sit in silent meditation for a few minutes and just receive. And since we receive all these beautiful qualities through our open sasrara, through our open seventh chakra, if our attention drifts away, we can just, as needed, we can just put our hand there again, redirect our attention gently back to the sasrara, can feel the flow above our head, and just bring our attention back there, and then bring our hand down again, as needed. So let's see if we can keep our attention up there above the head, We can open our eyes and we can rinse our feet off. And we can just put our foot soaking bowls aside. We can empty them later on. And we can then open our hands on our laps again when we're done. And we're going to now watch a short excerpt of Shri Mataji in which she talks about emotional intelligence. And let's watch this video with our attention still here, still very much in meditation.
In one of my lectures, I had talked to you about the emotional intelligence. That is what we should try to imbibe. Emotional intelligence. That means the intelligence that is based on emotions. Unless and until we become emotionally intelligent, our society cannot do. With an emotional intelligence, you care and you enjoy caring. You do everything for others with a great emotional understanding. Not for one child, not for one son, but for everyone, you have to be emotionally intelligent. Some children are born like this, but some are to be made like that. That they should be emotionally intelligent. Because if the mother and father are money oriented, very selfish, they won't allow their child to give anything to others. So such a child will grow into a very funny type of a person and will never do anything for anybody, not even for his own country. Why should he do it? Everything for selfishness. Then such people indulge into corruption, indulge into all kinds of things which are only selfish in attitude. Now we are talking of collectivity. In collectivity, we do for others. We enjoy doing for others. We love giving things to others, not for yourself, because your children will also become the same kind and they'll only bother about themselves. This emotional intelligence has to be brought in our life, in our pattern that we have. Are we emotionally intelligent or we are just intelligent or emotional? Both things are wrong. If you are just intelligent, you can become a very dry person. You may just have few friends, maybe you may not have, and you will always try to preserve yourself away from the collectivity. And if you are emotional, you will be attached only to one person, attached to one child, maybe attached to one person, to someone, even in the society. For no rhyme and reason. Why? Why are you attached to one person? Why are you bothered about one person only? All such people fall into such terrible prey. In the politics, we have seen how people try to help their own sons and our daughters and this and that, and we Indians have suffered a lot with this kind of a emotional attachment. So, according to ethics, emotional intelligence is the highest quality, by which you give to others, you care for others, for everyone, and you become very, very correct. Now, exclusiveness is another fashion that's very much there. It's exclusive. Because you don't want to be one of the multitudes, you want to be exclusive. You should be exclusive in emotional intelligence, not on other things. That is the best thing you can have. As I agree, I am just a woman and just a mother. But what I have is really the emotional intelligence, ocean of it. And from that, I know about everyone. I understand about everyone. And all this work has been done because of that quality in my head. I am not attached to one person or to one style. Whatever you say, I can understand because I am at a level where I can understand everything that you are doing. To achieve that, you try to develop emotional intelligence. Here, the children won't even give a toy to somebody to play. Even the mother is like that, the father is like that, extremely selfish. And we must have our own, so everything should be our own. This has to go. This has to go from American, especially because they are the leading nation in this kind of selfishness. What selfishness they have done, I did not count, but you know that. You go and ask the people of Canada, Mexico, Peru, all this, they will tell you. Being selfish, they are not ashamed. Being exploiters, they are not ashamed. Nobody can even tell them because they think they are very rich people. But all these riches will not give him the joy of life. Joy of life is only in the emotional intelligence.
Thank you so much. Let's keep silence for a few minutes more.
Let's try to continue to maintain silence. Allow the music and Shri Mataji's talk to resonate within us. Just for a few moments. When we strive for integration in our Sahasrara, like was said earlier, and we achieve emotional intelligence, we do so by enlightening all our chakras. But what can help to get us on that path is to also help enlighten our own emotions and our own emotional balance, which often lies in the left channel. So what we can do is take our attention to our left side, our left channel, which goes from the left side and crosses our head here, without making any motions, just keeping our attention on our left channel. We can take a simple but powerful mantra, which should go on the screen. So this mantra is for the left side, and when the left side is enlightened, the left side is freed from any heaviness, allows us to be in emotional balance, and in translation, take us into emotional intelligence. So one can just read as like this: Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lalita Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Just for repetition: Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lalita Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now we'll do it together, but with our attention on our left side. And as we say the mantra each time, try to let go of any guilt, any heaviness associated with our left channel, any emotions that might be keeping us from achieving our balance. Just let it go completely, without any hesitation. So we can take the mantra together. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lalita Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can repeat as many times as we feel needed, just to feel lighter and to feel like our left side is eased with the burdens that we carry, the burdens that we don't need to carry. And if we're still feeling some difficulty, we can also take our right hand and just face it towards the ground, the Mother Earth, and keep our left hand on our lap. And as we inhale, we can slowly allow all the heaviness of our left channel to go through our right hand and into the Mother Earth. So long as we surrender, we can have all of this simply be let go. And if any thoughts try to disturb us, we can just tell ourselves, I am the pure spirit. I am not this body or this mind or these thoughts. I am the pure spirit. And if we're still feeling like we're going out of balance, we can speak sincerely to our Mother Kundalini energy. Mother Kundalini, please allow all the heaviness in our left channel to go into the Mother Earth. I am not this body or this mind or these thoughts. Please bring me into emotional balance. With that, we can just take our right hand back to our lap, keep our left and right hands palm facing up, and just sit in silence and try to observe ourselves and be witnesses to our state. Now, one last thing we can try is to again employ the help of the Mother Earth to kind of remove or simply let go of any blockages or any challenging obstacles in our chakras on our left and right side, we can take our right and left hands, take them across our head like this. So our right hand going to our right channel on the Ajna side, and our left hand going to our left Ajna on the right side. We can cross our hands like this and simply push downwards with both hands into the Mother Earth. And with each push, just let go of anything that might be bothering you, anything that might be causing difficulties. Just stay silent. We can do this 3 times. And with that, we can slowly open our eyes. And we can close this meditation by giving ourselves a bandhan. Simply raise our Kundalini with our left hand, rotating with our right, in clockwise manner, tying a knot, 1 the first time. You can do this slowly, but with intent and with sincerity. We tie 2 knots. 3. We can give ourselves protection for our chakras 7 times. And with that, we conclude our formal meditation for this evening, and we can move on to some announcements that we have for you guys. So on Sunday, August 3, we're going to have a workshop that'll be focused on being honest with ourselves. And so this workshop will include using candles, which is very useful for helping clear our left channel, which we just kind of worked on. So we'll build on that on Sunday and kind of get us to be in a state where we can truly be honest and witness our own beings. And hopefully we can see you there then, and we can enjoy meditating together on Sunday. And just as a quick reminder about the course schedule, so again, this is session 4A, The Joy of the Spirit. It meets every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We also have collective foot soaks and meditations that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can join at 8:45 p.m. New York time, and it's the same Zoom link. So please join us if you'd like, and if you're available, we'd love to have you join us again there. There are also some program resources. So like I mentioned earlier, you can request for a Sahaja Yoga mentor. Just fill out the form that's in the Zoom chat if you'd like a more private or personal Sahaja Yoga experience, if you will. You can also join our community in a WhatsApp group, which contains and will have daily spiritual messages and course reminders for meditation sessions like this one and others. And the link to join is also in the Zoom chat. There's also session links, recordings, handouts, and more information about previous sessions and today's session that you can find on the website, which you can simply get to by scanning the QR code on the screen. And now we're going to move on to our presenter sharing portion of the evening. So there are a couple of ways you all can ask questions. You can either write to breakout room help, and you'll be sent to a breakout room where you can ask questions in a more not closed, but private forum with a Sahaja Yoga teacher. Or you could write to chat Q&A and ask your questions there. Or you can write directly to me, and I can try my best to relay your questions with the presenters. So with that, I'd love to call on Steve and Angie to come to the main screen and discuss our experience today. Hi.
Hello.
Hi again.
So yeah, it was a great session. I think it was really enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to see what kind of questions we get. Let's see here. So this is a good one. What does the term emotional intelligence mean to you, including how you see it as a practitioner of Sahaja Yoga? Angie, do you want to give that question a shot?
Yeah. I thought Steve already described it so beautifully when he thought about what does it mean, emotional intelligence. And it's really, when it comes to the Vishuddhi, the collective consciousness, where we start feeling the oneness with everyone, and we start feeling what another person is going through. It's like I can feel that in my system. It also comes to the heart, where you come from a place of a deep love, and it's connected with the Muladhara, with this purity in our relationships, where it's not about that I want something out of a person, but it's just building these pure relationships without having any, back thoughts or uh, thoughts about wanting something. And it also has to do with the wisdom of the Muladhara, that the wisdom of building relationships. So also Shri Mataji talked about that, where we start caring in such an authentic and honest way for each other. The wisdom how we build our relationships, how we are with each other, how we enjoy each other, how we care for each other, how we want to do good things to each other, and show our love, show our appreciation, be there for the others, and like that create a beautiful place for everyone to be. Like, so that's my take.
Thank you so much for the lovely answer, Angie. Yeah, I think that's exactly how I feel. It's almost like it becomes involuntary. You don't even have to try to
Mhm.
connect with others and care for others. There's no mechanical process to it. It's just, it is, it just happens very easily. Steve, do you have something you want to add to what Angie said?
Yeah, well, Miki, I think I really like what you just said, that it happens spontaneously, because that's really the amazing key to it, I think, in Sahaj, is that it all just is very spontaneous. It happens, we change and we become sensitive to others, we become more loving, more compassionate, and it just works. The compassion works. Um, the other thing that I think is very practical aspect of this is when you're in the center, you're in the present. And when you're in the present, when you're with someone, you're fully present for them. Your attention is actually there. And so often when we're having interactions, our attention is half somewhere else. We're thinking about what we're going to say next, or we're thinking about something we have to do that we're not fully there with that person. And so just from a very practical point of view, I feel like, and this is something we're all learning and trying to go deeper with. But the more we can ground ourselves in the present moment by being in meditation, um, the more present we are for other people, the more present we are for everything that we need to do. Our attention is fully there, and that's a big piece of this, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. What you just said about not being there when someone's talking and like having or even thinking about what you're going to say next. I think that's especially true in arguments with people when you disagree and you're
Yeah.
trying to think of the next smart thing to say. I think we'll all be really surprised to realize how similar we all are. We're all human beings at the end of the day. And if you really listen, I think it's so much easier to find common ground and not engage in unnecessary emotional violence or things of that nature, or just anger, things like that. So I think listening and being present, that is the key to really avoiding these conflicts that could be avoided. Yeah, thank you both for that. Let's see if we have any more questions. Let's see. Okay, so what are some suggestions you could offer to help others develop in their emotional intelligence? Angie, do you want to give that a shot?
Um, I would say actually you said that, Miki, and I think that is so important. It is to listen. What I found, and especially since, my practice of Sahaja Yoga, we always hear don't react and try to stay in balance. And it goes so much deeper because I found sometimes, not everyone is really talented to communicate or to speak. So sometimes people, they may appear rude because just things come out of their mouth directly. you know, Sometimes we have different cultures where the way how we talk is so different that it can be easily misunderstood. And I realized when I do not react, but I just listen and I don't look at how is someone talking to me, but what are they saying and why are they saying it, then it really goes to a very different level, because then you realize, oh, the person is not rude, the person is not angry, the person is actually not aggressive. It's just their way of talking. They talk with everyone like that. Don't take it personal, but what the person is saying is actually so deep. So if you step back from, your own reaction or expectation, how people should talk with you, and you just listen and with your heart and listen to their heart, life becomes so rich because you will find so many gems that you otherwise might miss. You learn so much, and everyone has their own wisdom, so it's so worthwhile to really listen to everyone. And I think that is one of the key things also in emotional intelligence, to just have this openness to listen and receive what others want to give you.
Right. It's given for free. You don't have to. There's no payment. It's if people want to give their heart to you and they want to express themselves, just take it and enjoy it, because it's nothing like establishing real, genuine, sincere human connections with other people. So, absolutely. Steve, do you have any thoughts on what advice might be useful for
Um,
somebody trying to develop?
well, what Angie just said, which was beautiful, reminded me of a story I'd like to tell of my
Yeah.
own experience. But first, I'd just say the advice would be meditate, because
Right. Yes, for sure.
because that's, sounds obvious, but that's where we get all these qualities that we're talking about. That's where it all comes from. If it's still a concept, it's going to be very limited and it's going to be a little artificial. But the story is, and I apologize, some people may have heard this story before because I know I've told this at some point a while ago, but I think it really relates to emotional intelligence and how subtle it can get and how spontaneous it can get. This was a really memorable experience for me when I was um, working in finance. I had to deal with someone regularly who was extremely aggressive and mean, and just nasty all the time on the phone. I never met the person in person, but I spoke to them on the phone sometimes, and I used to really dread having to pick up the phone and call this person because I knew I was going to be abused.
Yeah.
And so one day I had to call him, and I was dreading it, and I thought, you're a Sahaja Yogi. Why don't you give him a bandhan before you call him? See if that helps. So I gave a bandhan, just with his name, and gave a bandhan. And what I felt on my hand was incredible burning and pain in this finger, left Vishuddhi, left side of the throat, which you all know is, we get really caught up when we feel guilty. And it was so bad. And suddenly I realized this man doesn't hate me, he hates himself. And this is why he's so bitter. And so this kind of compassion came up in me for him very spontaneously. And then I dialed the phone, and he picked up the phone, and he was as nice as he could be. And all of this worked. I didn't do anything. I wasn't even really consciously being compassionate. The compassion itself worked somehow. I got insight into him. He changed. It just was like magic. And I always remembered that because what an amazing illustration, or demonstration of how this can work. So,
Absolutely. Wow, that's an amazing story.
yeah.
It's just the moment you just stopped and, you know, gave that compassion to him, it works so fast. And yeah, I think I don't have any story exactly like that, but from the perspective of what Angie was saying earlier, when I started to listen to the people that may not have necessarily liked and heard their side, try to be understanding, or not even having to understand initially, but just take all that they're saying in with my full attention on them, and not just trying my best to escape the conversation as fast as possible. And when that happened, I think things worked out much better. So yeah, it's incredible just what can happen when we just let go and try and have empathy for other people. Great. Let's see if there are more questions. Um, oh, here's a good one. I guess we've kind of answered it. I mean, the main way to gain emotional intelligence is meditation, but I guess maybe we can give some specifics of how do you feel you have grown in your ability to be emotionally intelligent through meditating within Sahaja Yoga. Yeah, Angie, do you want to give that a shot?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, meditation is the key. And when I think about it, it 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 happens so gradually. And I compare it for myself. I started as a seed that was put into the Mother Earth, and suddenly you realize you have become a tree. You didn't even realize how or when that happened, but you start giving shade, you start giving the fruits, you start giving shelter, like metaphorically. And how that expressed itself. And to be honest, I did not do anything consciously, but this was a change that um, I realized, over all the years of doing my clearances and meditating. So before I started with this practice, and I think that's a very normal human reaction that most probably everyone has at one point in their life, when someone has something great happening to them, doesn't matter whatever, and they are extremely happy, and you are happy for them, but a part in you feels, why did this not happen to me? Why do I not have that? And you a part of you is sad and also a little bit jealous, and then you feel guilty because you should be completely happy for the person. You should not feel like that. And I know, for before I started with this practice, even at the beginning or so, that that was always there, also this part, because you feel like, why not me? And I realized that this really has completely gone, and that is beautiful, because when you start feeling this oneness or this collective being, or when you start feeling how other people feel. So what it's my personal experience, and maybe you feel it in a different way. But I became very sensitive to how other people feel. And I will immediately feel if they are in pain, if they have a problem. And I immediately feel, oh no, this person is not feeling good. And somehow I feel it also inside of myself. So that is also part of this emotional intelligence. Now, with this practice and with everything, with this knowledge, but also especially with the vibrations and with the light of the Kundalini, we somehow know what will help the other person. And then you feel, oh, I want to help the other person. I also know what will help them, what will lift them up, and you do that. And then when they feel better, you feel better. And what I realized, it's not just that I feel the pains of others, but I also feel the happiness of others in such a different way. So when people around me are happy for whatever good things are happening, I feel it's such a wave of joy that comes to me. And I look at them and I can really, really truthfully enjoy their joy. And this is such a beautiful experience for myself. And actually, maybe it's even a little bit selfish, because I feel if people around me are happy, I don't have to feel the pain. So it's so good when people are happy. And I want everyone to be happy. I want the whole world to be happy, because then it makes me feel happy too. So this is something that happened through the meditation, through the clearing, gaining all the knowledge. And it's nothing that I consciously worked on. It's just something that shifted, and it's very beautiful, a very beautiful experience. And by the way, I think that is why we all are here and creating this 21 days for everyone, because we want the world to have something tremendously amazing and good. We give it for free, and that is part of it now, to make the whole world a little bit more happy, with a little bit more light. And yeah, so I think that's my experience.
That's amazing. I don't think I should say anything after that. Steve, do you have anything you wanted to add?
I think we all need to take lessons from Angie.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's whatever progress I feel I've made in that direction. It's through meditating. It's through introspection and seeing the angularities and the imbalances and the ways in which I'm getting in my own way, um, and going back to being present. I mean, I come from a very kind of right-sided background in a way of always being projecting into what happens next. What's going to become, what I have to do next, or what's coming next, and to gradually just learn how to settle down and be in the present. Then you start to feel what's going on with other people, and you when you're in the right side, when you're well, even in the left side, if you're out of balance, you're kind of involved in yourself. It's your emotions or your thoughts or your projections. And when you feel more balanced, you feel more aware of what's actually going on with you and with the other person and with the whole world. In my case, it's a matter of like slowing down to the point where you actually are there, and then when you're there, you perceive it all. So it's a process, for everybody, it's a process, but that was very beautiful, Angie. Thank you. That was great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. That was beautiful as well. Thank you so much. Great. Yeah, I don't have anything to add, to be honest, but maybe we can get one more question actually from the chat. So before we close, could the panel please share their thoughts about how forgiveness underpins emotional intelligence? Yeah, it's a really good question. Angie, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think, with the emotional intelligence, it helps you, like many times, when we feel someone did something against us, usually we react with anger, with sadness, and all these emotions. But when we understand deeper, I don't know, when you start meditating, you try not to react, and you really try to understand, why did that person behave in that way? Why did they say that? From where did it come from? It makes it so much easier to forgive, or sometimes it's really often a misunderstanding between people. So you realize, but often you realize there's nothing to forgive. It's just you try to understand what is happening here, and then you have the conversation or the communication, and more times, it actually, it dissolves whatever is the issue. Sometimes there are things that are really hard to forgive. And there can be really things when people did something so horrible. I'm talking about things like when someone was violent, when someone had to experience violence in whatever way. It's so much harder to forgive that person. But then I think it helps. It's for oneself to understand that to forgive, it means more to let go and to not hold on, because the thing is, if we not forgive, it means we're holding on to the one thing that was very painful, and as long as we grab that pain, we are still connected with the pain and with the person that gave us this pain. But if we let it go and we forgive, we let go, we don't go back to the pain. So it's not that the person will not have to face the consequences of their action, which I think is often misunderstood. Everyone, we all, everything that we do comes back to us. That's another aspect, we should understand. So the more good we do to others, it's always what we do to others, we do to ourselves. So everyone will face the consequences. So sometimes people feel they cannot forgive, because then it would mean that they say it's okay what the person did. which is a misunderstanding. It's just I let this person go, and I don't give this person any more attention, and I don't take the pain anymore, but I let go of the pain and move forward, if that answers it. So basically, actually, you take away the power that a person has over you and giving you the pain. So in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes. And I mean, you said it just, it's not absolving anyone of what they did or ignoring what they might have done to you. It's just really for yourself, because if you're the person who had the unfortunate event inflicted on, you can't also be the one to hold on to it and make it worse in the long run. So I think for your own well-being, it's just in your best interest to forgive, but also to let go of that connection. Steve, do you have any final words for us before we close?
Well, I like what you're both saying about forgiveness. It's I love when Shimaji would talk about forgiveness as a weapon, because forgiveness we maybe think is like giving in, like, oh, okay, you did this horrible thing to me, but I forgive you. It's like surrender in the bad sense of the word, not in the spiritual sense, but like just giving in. And she spoke about it as a weapon. That this is the most powerful way to neutralize uh, any kind of negativity, any kind of attack on you. The forgiveness neutralizes that, and it neutralizes the effect on you, and then it frees you to return to your compassionate nature and to be. I mean, I think that's where it ties into the emotional intelligence. Is it frees you to be compassionate toward that other person, regardless of what they're doing. And it is challenging sometimes, but one of the really beautiful things I've experienced a few times where something was really bothering me. Someone had said something that really bothered me, and I really felt like, how am I going to face that person? Because I don't want to be angry, but I feel this. And when I would see the other person, I would just somehow it was gone. Like I saw the person and I would kind of see their spirit. I would see the beauty in them, and it was just gone. And that I think is another thing that I just attribute um, to what Sahaja Yoga has given me in the sense that I could. It was very accessible to me, the beauty of the person, and it sort of washed away the anger, the discomfort. So it's a weapon, like Srimaji said. It's a beautiful weapon of peace in a way. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
That's so wonderful. And we ought to use the weapon. So not get bogged down by people or situations. Yeah, absolutely. Just let it go and use the weapon. That's all I could say after that. That's really great. Yeah, obviously amazing talk from Shri Mataji. So yeah, with that, I think that's a beautiful place for us to conclude today's meditation session. Thank you both so much for coming on, and Steve for guided meditation, and Angie for the wonderful words at the end. And thank you to Yuri for the wonderful music during the meditation. And thank you all for joining us. Hope to see you on Sunday for the workshop. And if you want to stay for some more time, you can always go to a breakout room right now and meet with a Sahaja Yoga practitioner. And then we'll play some music at the end. So if you want to sit and meditate some more, please feel free to do so. And yeah, with that, we wish you a peaceful, happy night. Thanks, and good night, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Good night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Steve.
Angie.